and welcome back. We're about to see if this ground's dry enough to plow, and I'm gonna guess that it probably isn't, but we're gonna look at it anyhow. And here is some a pile of strip tape that I had cleaned up and got out of the way and piled up to haul off, and you can see it's not been hauled off. So let's adjust the plows. First pass, you're gonna let's see where we want to start here. All right, remember we've got these plows. They're 14-inch plows, cutting 14-inch width every pass. So we got the cutting edge of this plow 14 inches from the inside of that tar. That tar is going to represent the fur. Now when I set these plows up on this first pass, they're not going to be correct. They can't be correct because that tire is not down in a fur. So what we're going to do, we are going to level our plows with the tractor. Now we don't want the plows level per se if you put a bubble on them. If you draw the center line across that axle, we want these plows to be parallel from side to side with that center line. So that makes them level with the tractor. We want them level front to back in their working position. Now, as you can see, that plow's on the ground. This one's off the ground. So what we're going to do, we're going to address that with the top link. So we're going to lengthen this top link, which will push the back of the implement down. Okay, so let's do that first. Okay, and we're just going to kind of eyeball it. Now that setting up the plows is pretty much trial and error. So what we're going to do now is here's where we'll adjust it from side to side. We're just going to kind of eyeball it and get close. That front one looks a little high. Let's what we'll do is just give it a shot and see what happens, okay? So let's I'm gonna put you guys up here, and we'll go a little ways and we'll stop and look and see what adjustments we need to make. Okay, I hope it shows up on camera, but I can tell by the way the tractor was pulling that it was pulling hard. The plows are nose down, and I hope you can see how they're pitched down in the front, and that's making the front plow dig deeper than the back two. So remember, you want them level in their working position, and you can see that we're not plowing as deep back here as we need to. And we're going to talk about this soil moisture in just a moment. But for right now, that's what that's a problem we run into. So let's lengthen this top link out. And I believe it's still down a little bit. Now keep in mind, this first pass, it is very hard to set your plows up and get them right on this first pass, because you know, like I said, you're not really in working position with your tractor and your plows. Okay, let's I'll finish this fur on out, and then we'll start setting it up in the next fur. So hang on. Okay, I started in on the second pass here, and you can see that well, we're still out of adjustment. I hope you can see. That front plow is pulling way too much. So what we're going to do, there's two ways we can do this. If we lengthen the top link, that's going to run this plow deeper, which it may need a little bit of that. And if we raise our lift arm up over there, that's going to pull it up a little. Keep in mind, if I make an adjustment here, it's going to affect both front and the back. So if they're all running the right depth, which they won't be if they're out of adjustment, and you adjust the top link, it's going to raise that front a little bit. It's going to pivot. Same thing, if I adjust that side arm over there, raise that and up, it's going to force this one down a little bit. So you got to keep that in mind. So looking at the plows, they're still running a little nose heavy, a little down the front. So we're going to lengthen this a couple of turns. And I don't think that'll be enough to get it all. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this one up a couple of turns. All right, let's see what that does for it. And we're going to talk about this soil moisture, and I know I'm shaking the camera around, in just a minute. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. We're close, but it's not quite there. We're not quite there. And you can see the amount of dirt being moved by this one versus that one versus that one. Plows are running nose deep, or that side's low. Either the front's low or that side's low, or a combination of both. Let's see what that does. I'm going to show you something here. These plows are in the up position, and they're too far down the back. I mean, they look way out of adjustment. That's in the up position. I'm going to drop them down without adjusting anything, pull forward just a little bit to show you what they look like in the working position. Okay, no adjustments. Okay, those are the plows in the down working position, and you can see there's a big difference in it. Now, that front one's still running a little deep. Need to jack it up. But those plows are getting closer and closer to be adjusted. That's what it takes. It takes getting off the tractor a time or two, and to get the plows dialed in. Now, as far as soil moisture, it is February, which does help. But I also know a couple things about this ground. Number one is I know this is the driest piece on it. It gets wetter as we go down. And you can see, and there's some plastic mulch in this little patch right here that I've got to get out. I've picked up a little bit of it. I had a patch of strawberries in here one time and didn't get it up. Didn't get the plastic up, so I have to every year pull out a little bit more. But if you'll look at the ground, it is really, really close to being dry enough. All right, if it, and my soil, now I can't speak for your soil or what you deal with, your soil type, but let's go ahead and make a quick adjustment on that plow right there while we're here. If it sticks, well, let me just show you. If you can make like a snowball out of it, and it don't, see, it breaks up pretty good. That is so stinking close to being dry enough. But you see those shiny, smeared off places? That's an indication that that ground's still just a little too wet. Even though it's breaking up pretty good, it is borderline. Very, very, very borderline. So probably what we're going to do, if you work ground too wet, it takes a lot of work to work it out, the conditions you'll wind up with. Probably what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish out this fur right here and call it good. That's and hope it doesn't rain tomorrow, because if it doesn't rain tomorrow night, this will be in ideal condition to plow. If this was early January, late December, or even November, I'd go ahead and plow it. Because of the freeze-thaw cycle, it would be all right, but it's not. So that's where we're at. Anyhow, let's see what it'll. I'll go ahead and finish this out. Another footnote on these plows: those are high-speed plows. They're made to run between 4 and 6 miles an hour. In this rock pile, there is no way I can do it. They do plow better if you run faster. I was running about 3. So if you like what we're doing, we will be doing a lot more on these tillage tools. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you see a video you like, hit that thumbs up, and thanks for watching. If you have a comment or question, please do so. We'll talk to you later. Bye.